This is a phenomenon. Caitlin Clark is a phenomenon. And if I said to any of these people who think Caitlin Clark is not the Rookie of the Year, I'd say, who would you want to start your franchise with? Now, I'm not going to put A'ja Wilson in there. I'm just saying between these two. Angel Reese is a wonderful player, but she does not compare to what and who Caitlin Clark is.
Angel Reese has had a difficult few days. As it happens, she has been receiving chilly shoulder on both sides. First, we learned that Angel was flatly rejected during the draft by Coach Cheryl Reeve, who isn't our favorite person on this channel, let's face it. Not girl, she said. We're not going to draft you. Now, given the lack of output from the guy she chose, I'm not sure if it was a brilliant move, but she definitely gave Angel the finger wag with Dikembe Mutombo. And now Caitlin Clark is the other individual who has rejected Angel. If only someone could assist her in figuring out. She will have a significant influence on the WNBA if she can figure out how to play offensively, man. Rather, we're sitting there thinking, dude, this woman can hardly make a layup because she compares herself to Caitlin Clark. Recently, Caitlin has been really emotional. She's simply the Seattle Storm was taught the other day. She has been cooking for Lexi Hull, Kelsey Mitchell, and the Fever. Additionally, prior to the game versus the Phoenix last night, I believe Mercury shot 29% from the field in her last 5 games. Regretfully, I've watched these games because I'm currently also watching Angel Reese. I give Angel Reese credit because she is unable to make 29% of her shots, which are all within 2, 3, and 4 feet. She should be, in my opinion, because she would be receiving praise if she hadn't been involved with Caitlin Clark. The major news lately is that she signed Gabby Williams, a French Olympic standout, who is returning to the WNBA. You guys, Gabby is the best defensive player. She might have definitely been exploited by the Fever, but here's the thing: Angel tried to enlist Gabby a few days earlier, and it completely backfired. After the gold medal game, Angel called Gabby and said, "Hey girl, would you like to run it back with the Chicago Sky?" Without comparing her performance to that of Caitlin Clark, and without this absurd discussion about Rookie of the Year, we would all be sitting here thinking, dude, what a fantastic rebounder and energy defensive player Angel Reese is. No sis, let's just work together somewhere else, Gabby said. I was harmed by them, and that's it. Angels are being turned down one after another. She is a survivor and intelligent. To get her offense going last night against the Mercury, she began making mid-range jumpers rather than layups. And it was successful. I believe she scored about 19 points last night, but it may have been as high as 20. I can't recall. Because she has little chance of making those layups against, say, Brittany Griner. She started hitting the mid-range game and face-up jumpers, even if it might have been 20 points per point. Angel Reese's left-handed shooting is particularly odd. From her shoulder, she shoots it. She doesn't aim it directly at her eyes. A difficult break. Gabby Williams has recently joined the Storm in Seattle, but the fascinating part comes next. In fact, they traded her to the Los Angeles Sparks in 2022 to obtain her. Gabby Williams, you claim, was the most full-fledged basketball player. Are you still of that opinion? I work with both males and women. Oh, Gabby that season, Williams is a standout. She averaged 7.5 points and 5 rebounds per game and started every one of them. Quite remarkable, isn't it? In addition, she was selected for the all-defensive second team, which enabled the Storm advance to the WNBA semifinals, despite losing to the Aces the previous season. After suffering a stress fracture, which is never easy in a concussion while playing in France, she resigned with the Storm in the middle of the season. She averaged 8.4 points and 3.8 rebounds in 10 games during this year's Olympics in France. Williams made the decision to train with the French national team at the start of the WNBA season. They nearly won a gold medal under her leadership. If her foot hadn't been on the line, the game-winning shot at the end would have counted. She led France with 152 points and an average of 5.8 assists, including a team-high 19 assists, but she still had a fantastic game. They came quite close to ending the United States' 60-game Olympic winning streak. After all, Angel Reese isn't going to take off. In fact, she is returning to the WNBA in order to compete in the playoffs. So, isn't it crazy? Her belongings are swatted because of this, additionally as she carries it to the basket. However, the comparison to Caitlin Clark is her biggest issue. Her pursuit of the Rookie of the Year award, for which she has no chance, is destroying her. A spectacular offensive player is what she aspires to be. She simply isn't at the moment. Although she is a fantastic rebounder, has a lot of enthusiasm, and is a very excellent player, Angel Reese is being destroyed by her comparisons to Caitlin Clark. A major wake-up call was just delivered to the Seattle Storm. due to the Fever. After that game, I couldn't help but wonder if the Fever was indeed headed to the WNBA Finals. I believe they could defeat nearly anyone based on the competition, particularly with Caitlin Clark and the Fever, with the exception of the Aces, who are quite wealthy. But let's face it, earlier in the season, the Aces didn't deal with this Caitlin Clark. During a difficult time in their schedule, they contracted the illness. Seeing how this all works out will be intriguing. Here's an additional twist. Angel Reese is also being turned down by Cheryl Reeve, where Angel Reese, a rookie forward for the Chicago Sky, was sent off the field last night following a string of successive technical fouls against the New York Liberty. Reese was ejected after receiving her fifth foul and, quote, calling official Charles Watson in a derogatory manner. 2 months ago, the Sky selected Angel Reese, a rising star in the WNBA, 6th overall. Reese spoke to the media on Monday after her teammate Kennedy Carter was controversially given a technical card for pushing Caitlin Clark. Reese has been dominating, going from being a standout collegiate athlete to an actual all-star in the WNBA. There is some disagreement on that, but it doesn't really matter. Reese made it apparent that women's basketball fans are interested in the sport due of her, as well as, quote, one player. According to a league source, the WNBA revoked the second technical today after additional review, which, in my opinion, is not very significant at this time. In April, the Chicago Sky selected her 9th overall. To avoid choosing her, the Minnesota Lynx made a trade down. The case of Caitlin Clark, basically you're checking it with a side hip move and knocking her to the ground with Kennedy Carter's side hip maneuver. Additionally, it made national headlines since Caitlin Clark has been the target of abuse ever since joining the WNBA, in a way that is a national story game. On my day job, ESPN, every weekday morning from 10 a.m. Until noon, there was a debate about it. Reeve decided against drafting Reese. Since she believed Reese wouldn't fit in with the team's aesthetic, I wonder whether Cheryl Reeve wants her squad to be exclusively composed of LGBTQ athletes. She belongs to that community, therefore it's only a thought. Reeve chose Alyssa Peely because she thought that bringing in Reese would interfere with Sylvia Fowles' role. Reese is essentially a starter, while Peely is only playing an average of 6.4 minutes each game. Whether Reeve should take that step or not is a topic of much discussion, isn't it? Cardoza appears to be merely observing while Reeve is in command. That double-double goal appears to be the focal focus of the Chicago Sky. To be honest, I would be disappointed if I were a fan. In addition, Reeve had the privilege of coaching Team USA, which won a gold medal at the Olympics. Here's the worst part, though. At the WNBA All-Star Game last month, Reeve witnessed Reese and the team defeat Team USA, the Americans' lone defeat of the summer. Crazy, eh? It may be difficult to leave Reese off the Olympic squad for the 2028 Games in Los Angeles if Reeve remains head coach of Team USA. Until then, she might be regretting her decisions as Reese continues to shine. Isn't it unbelievable that Cheryl Reeve gave up her job to keep Angel Reese off the team? It's a brave move. I don't know if that was the right choice. You would think that the Lynx would at least give Angel Reese a chance, even though we've spoken about how her stats might be a little exaggerated. Reeve, however, did not want her in the squad's vicinity. To be very honest, I don't like Cheryl Reeve. In addition, I think Reeve, Caitlin Clark, was purposefully kept off of the Olympic WNBA squad Gino Ariema's roster by Don Staley. With the numbers supporting me during the Olympics, she earned a spot more than Chelsea Gray or Diana Taurasi. Cheryl Reeve hasn't been very nice to Caitlin Clark and seems to have her own agenda. She didn't seem to like Angel Reese either, turned down. Recently, Caitlin Clark spurred rumors about her basketball career, especially about her possible participation in the Unrivaled League, a brand new league run by Brianna Stewart and Nafisa Collier, and earning 6 figures. Many people thought Clark would be interested in joining the Unrivaled League because she seemed content and enthusiastic. Some question if she really needs to play in that level, though. She did not attend Iowa for her 5th year. She wishes to give her a try, to compete against the league's top players at the highest level. Though it clearly affords her a different kind of leverage, I don't think it's a serious consideration for her to play in the Big Three. According to some, the WNBA and Nike might both want to maintain her out of it, perhaps providing her with financial incentives to do so given the potential consequences of playing more. Furthermore, we cannot downplay the significance of she has fully drawn attention to the women's game this year, not just for Iowa games, but we've seen it throughout the women's landscape, especially with the media rights agreement up next year. In a manner that no other player in the women's game has ever been, she is crucial. 3v03 basketball is the foundation of the Unrivaled League, which might not fit with Clark's preferences, implying that she might turn down their offer. Given that the unrivaled league's owners earlier opposed Clark's membership on Team USA, some have questioned the league's goals. As soon as it was revealed that the major three made an provide her with an offer that would be around 5 times her earnings from the WNBA. We're flying. I believe you mentioned that the top 30 players in the first year will receive equity in this league along with the first 30 players. So hopefully it only gets better and bigger as we go along. Additionally, this has raised concerns regarding the veracity of their interest in her and her followers at the moment. Although there is support for women starting their own league, doubts regarding its legitimacy still exist. The pay seems to be going. It is, in fact, the highest average compensation in the history of women's sports. How many years then? How long do we currently have the funds to support the highest average salary for women's football? Thus, we have money for the following 3. Come on. Clark's abilities are seen to be more appropriate for the WNBA, where she has already had a significant influence. Since her reputation and basketball career are seen as more promising inside the current structure, many in the community hope she will avoid the Universal League. Regarding playing abroad, I really like my time in Russia and China. I'm not sure whether you are aware, but the WNBA has changed its priorities. In other words, you will be penalized for the entire season if you are late because you are playing abroad. I'm not really allowed to advocate for myself. My guys are excellent. My network of support is excellent. I got my hometown. My family is there to defend me. Since I just attempt to ignore things and keep my composure, I don't really get to voice my opinions. As if I've experienced a great deal. I've witnessed a lot. I have experienced numerous attacks.